Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Good morning to you. Put this view in here. Good morning. I'm sorry. I had a little trouble launching this morning. So let's see. Okay, good morning. This is Maria with Maria's Angelic Enlightenment, coming to you from Waverly, Iowa this morning. You have been a part of this growing circle, Sacred Circle with Maria, and I'm grateful for all of you that are here. I am also very happy to be doing this class for free so that more and more people can understand the power of working with angels and also of harnessing your own intuition. And so so happy to see you all. Even though you're far away, Mary Braden, I see here, and Paula and Vicky Joe. Hi, Vicky. Connie Christensen. Let's see who else is on. Marilyn, and I am okay. Well, anyways, we're ready to launch at this time. We're doing a little bit of angel work this morning, and so I'm going to be sharing my own book, of course, Angel Decoding, where I explicitly share with readers the concept of the clairs, the clairvoyance, the clairsentience, the clairaudience, and claircognizance. The four clairs. There are six, but we're going to be talking about what that means and how you can utilize that. Also, the power of intuition, the idea of practicing meditation, the concept of using your practice to expand your energy, to expand your ability to really be more in touch and in tune. And then we'll just begin with the angels, because this is about angels and intuition this morning. So I am going to, I was going to put this on live, but my internet's not good today, so we'll just leave this. All right, so what is intuition? Intuition is your divine knowing. It is the part of you that is connected to all that there is. Intuition is we would express it, most genuinely. We would say intuition is the most genuine experience that you can have. So to be intuitive is to be yourself. To be intuitive is to know what you know. To be and act upon your intuition is faith in action. And to embrace your intuition is self-love. So we want to do all those things. We want to love ourselves. We want to be in this experience, in this world where we are faithful and we are trusting. We want to be loving, and we want to be loved. And many of us are blessed over and over and over again with an abundance of intuition. And at somewhere along the trail or along our journey, we dismiss it because maybe our intuition was too clear and it scared us. Or perhaps our intuition had, led us a little bit astray, but we certainly didn't take it. And so that at that time, the astrayness was probably more about you not listening and not being truthful to yourself and not practicing self-love, but maybe practicing what some people call, listening masses, and thinking that that's the right way. The masses don't know about you. The masses do not and cannot ever give you clear guidance. But through the concept, through the essence, through the gift, the godly gift of intuition, you can know about you. You can guide your life, and you can expand and continue to live abundantly and joyfully. So intuition is really self-love and trust and faith. So how do we combine those things? The way that I found best to harness intuition and then continue to amass it, continue to expand it, is through prayer and meditation, through intention. So intention begins with, I would like to, right? An intention is perhaps even an affirmation, and it can be unsaid, unstated, but it is an affirming belief that you would like to understand more, that you would like to be more trusting of yourself, that you would like to have the presence of God and the energy of the angels working with you. These are intentions. And these are intentions that I have. I have had a relationship with angels since I was very young. And I know of their presence, and I know of their love and the energy that they can bring me and they can support for me. Oh, somebody's not muted, so I'm going to just make sure I mute everybody. So in that respect, we want to be sure that we are always in this place of love and prayerfulness when we are asking for the divine messages that come through intuition. So intention. My intention is that I am profoundly intuitive. My intention is that my intuition brings me on the right path and continues to propel me forward to an abundant and joyful life. My intention is that I know what I need, and my God, my angels, and my spirit is guiding me, directing me, supporting me. So intention is step one, right? We start with intention. I mean, we can call it a goal, but it's so much more than goal. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm kind of checking in here a little bit, because I channel the classes, and when I get going, I forget what I've covered. So because I'm in this process of allowing the angels to work through me. So come on back in, right? Intention. So intention. So set an intention for yourself that you are profoundly, intentionally intuitive. You are experiencing intuition on a regular basis, and you trust and allow it. That intuition is your friend. And intuition is to be listened to and to be valued and to be allowed. And more importantly, it is a part of you, an innate part of you, and you want to always love and honor who you are. So my friends, intention is the beginning of a powerful practice of using intuition and working with your angels. The next idea for intention is, I intend to work with the highest power that is available on this universe, in this universe, on this earth. I intend to work with the power of love. I intend to work with the God presence and the I am. I intend to work with the angels. The angels are God's right hand. I believe that God looked at your soul when you decided to sign up for this earth experience, and God said, you know, my darling soul, here is your guardian angel. Here is a part of me to always be with you, to guide you, to nudge you, to remind you, to bring you forward in this world that can be a little bit crazy sometimes. But I trust that when you reflect back to what we have discussed here today, the power of love, that you will be with me again. So here is your guardian angel to guide and direct and support you. And so I intend to work with the right hand of God's light, with the angels, and I allow the angels' loving energies to give me nudges and to also go out and support others, because there are others that need love and support from the angels. There are others that I can pray for to expand and to be healed and to be supported and to be encouraged and to be uplifted and to be affirmed and to be empowered. There are so many others, and I am just the one. So I call on the essence of the God love and the universal power of the angels to surround everyone present here today in this class, and also in this in the universe that is ready and willing and wanting to have more joyful living experiences. And with that introduction, let me go into our prayer for the day. All right, so let's take a deep breath together, everyone. Bring your energy right to your heart. Beautiful Lord, sweet angels, Holy Spirit, we ask that you surround us and support each that has gathered here this morning on this beautiful day. We ask and we are thankful and we are grateful and we are blessed to be in community with you, Lord, with you, beautiful universal light, beautiful Mother and Father God of all there is. We call in the love that is ever present and ever willing to assist us, to guide us, to support us, and to uplift us as we continue to live joyfully in an uplifted way, taking full responsibility for our existence here on earth and embracing your energy through us. We are grateful, we are thankful, and in your name we are prayerful. Amen. All right, so this morning we're talking about intuition and the angels. We just experienced a bit of a prayerful intention, and that is just an idea. It is just an example, and I encourage you to have prayerful intentions throughout your day, because a repertoire of prayer raises your energy level, keeps you bound and connected to the energy of the Lord and the essence of these amazing angels that can support us. So a repertoire of prayer is, again, setting intentions regularly. I am intentional in praying. You know, I don't even think about it anymore. I'm walking to my car and I say, Lord, be with me as I'm walking across this slippery slope. I pray that you will guide and direct me today in all ways. As I'm driving, you know, God and angels of the Lord bless my drive and direct and support me through this journey in all that I am and all that I'm doing. I meet a friend and we're talking and having coffee or tea or lunch or maybe a session, an angel reading, and of course I'm saying a prayer. Lord, be with me, guide me to comfort, support, uplift, direct, encourage, love on this beautiful soul that's in front of me now. God be with me as I need some patience today. Beautiful angels surround me and help me to teach this beautiful class to many people that are willing and ready and open for your light. This is a practice, and it is a practice, and it's become so natural for me that it's an inner dialogue. So we got a little march here with the eyes this morning, right? Intuition, intention, and inner dialogue. So, this idea of the inner dialogue. And what is inner dialogue? And again, I'm going to just, write it down so that I make sure that after this, I'm going to refresh all of us. Intuition, intention, and inner dialogue. Your inner dialogue, people, is the practice numero uno that you should be practicing on, that you should be redirecting, that you should be, that you get to refashion your life with. So your inner dialogue should be positive, thankful, grateful, joyful. Your inner dialogue should be blessed. Your inner dialogue is filled with the opportunity to take you and propel you to a new way of living every day. And it is the most powerful prayer that I know of, your inner dialogue. So be awake, be mindful of the inner dialogue. Mindful simply means that you are pointing some actual responsibility to the way that you are thinking. You are going, oh, I am kind of out here thinking about how jealous I am of that beautiful woman's hair. Instead, it's like, you know what? That is a beautiful woman. And I'm going to be inspired. I'm going to take a little better time this morning and do my hair a little better because I'm inspired. That's a new way of thinking instead of letting the jealousy take you for a ride. And so the inner dialogue, positivity, is numero uno, as we say. It's number one. Thinking positive will keep you in a vibration of upliftment, which can shift your whole life. You know, and maybe you get picked on a little bit. I'm picked on regularly, but you know, it's a joyful pick. My husband's really good at kind of teasing me, and sometimes he's ornery, and the teasing is a little bit more hurtful, but I still giggle about it and laugh about it because I intend to be positive. I intend to have an experience of joy. And no matter what he says, they're just words. And most of the time the words are coming from a place where he's living, not me. And so I can tell by the tone of his teasing or the tone of his ribbing or the tone of his sarcasm, how he's feeling about himself. And I have come to be mindful of that. And I realize that, hey, that's not about me. That's really about him. And I'm not going to be all defensive and let him turn my tables around because I'm having this like really great airy-fairy moment and I'm uplifted and I'm like in heaven and I'm feeling I'm worth more than $1 million and nobody's going to get that down. Nobody. And so I'm responsible for me and I'm holding that inner dialogue, and that's an amazing inner dialogue. Or I'm talking to myself and he's going on, about something else. It's very nice. In the crux of all of this, where's intuition? Intuition's already nudging you to remind you to be in your body, to be grounded, to be connected to the core of who you are, and to be your amazing being. Intuition says, oh, he's a little off this morning. Don't go there with him. Stay in here. It doesn't mean like that we need to suddenly be holding him up or putting my arms around him because he's being sarcastic. Now, if he's really emotionally distraught, that's a different flavor, and my intuition will guide me to that. But in a moment of teasing or sarcasm, my intuition says, you hold on to yourself, Maria. You stay right where you are, and you just go on being that beautiful, powerful, angelic woman that you profess to be. Amen. And so I'm asking you to be intentional. And the inner dialogue needs to be positive. It doesn't matter how flowery we get, or how fairy we get, or how fantasy we get. It's like perfect, because your intention is going to shift your energy and help you to stay grounded in an authentic place where you are. And as I say this, you may hear some animals sometimes in the background. My mother's cat is close by, and my beautiful doggie's upstairs taking a little nap, but if she sees something at the window, she might bark. And I intend to be with you and to be focused, and I hope that all of you will also stay focused and not be distracted by those little things that can go on around me, because this is life, and I have come to understand that, there isn't a perfect place for me to broadcast from. And I am going to, do this perfect experience right here in my home for you. All right, so getting back to intuition. Right now we've talked about intuition being very simple. that intuition begins with powerful intentions. Intuition is an inner dialogue. Intuition is a divine experience that we have. Intuition is God's energy guiding us. And we don't have to let it run away with us. We have a mindful experience of discernment. So being discerning means that you really listen to you, that you are, is this good for me? Is this good for others that are connected or concerned here? And is this good with God? Discernment is a part of the path of a more powerful way of acting on your intuition. And discernment is already a God-given innate experience. Because when you ask the question, is this good for me? And you are really intentional about this experience or this idea being good for you, you will feel a correct experience. You will feel good about this. You will feel grounded about whatever you are asking. Is it good for me, Lord, to teach Sacred Circle to more people and to do this for free? And God said yes. And I'm not going to stand up right now because you'll lose me, but in this experience, you know, you can use your body as a pendulum sometimes. And I don't know, maybe I will stand up. Let's see what we can do here. So I can go all the way back here. Okay, so and I you know, standing sideways, I'm just going to say, when I ask a question, is this experience of teaching Sacred Circle a good experience, Lord? And then I just close my eyes, and there is a natural sway. My body says yes by swaying forward. And that is a natural pendulum that all of you can access. All of you can try and experience, is the body pendulum. The body can give you lots of clarity. And so you can feel if something is right, if you kind of fall into it. Some people fall forward in a yes. Some people fall back. Some people sway side to side. There isn't any have to in this. It is a personal experience. But the best way to know your yes, or to know something authentically discerning correct, is to say, my name is Maria. Or you say your name, of course. My name is, and then put your name in. Now, my name is Rhonda. My name is Marilyn. My name is Mary. My name is Paula. My name is Vicky Joe. My name is, and then see where your body sways. And you may not do this right this moment, but do this after we're complete this morning, and just experience which way your body sways. And this is an intuitive awareness, an intuitive yes. And so when you are, you know, truly asking a question in this fashion, you want to be sure that you have had a prayerful down period, that you have been, you know, in a place of honoring yourself, that you're not in a rush, or that you're not trying to force an answer. Just be calm and be yourself, and then ask the question in your mind, and then allow your body to, you know, move in the way that it is going to guide you. It is not happening outside of you, it is happening within you, and a truth comes forward. So when you recognize my name is, and then which way does your body sway, that will be your yes. And you are asking that question in a center of calmness and with intention. And of course, the inner dialogue has been positive. You will get a very, you know, clear sway. You'll get a very clear pendulum movement in your body, the human pendulum. You know, we can teach anybody to do this. And I have a friend who has taught her children to do this, and said, you know, you want to go in your room and you want to ask about going to camp this summer, and, you know, or playing baseball, you know, which one was going to be the best option for you. And when you're finished, and when you feel like you have a yes, come back and you let me know what feels the best for you. What your inner knowing has taught you, has expressed to you. Our inner knowing is loving inner knowing. If we have established a climate of inner dialogue that is positive and positive intention, then the reaction is going to be positive. So is this good for me is a very important question in discernment when you are guided intuitively. Is this good for me? And then we can expand that a little bit. Is this good for others concerned? Sometimes the concern is going to be 20 people. Sometimes the concern is going to be one. And sometimes the concern can be the masses. Is this good for others? And then, is this good for God? And God is directing you in all that you do and all that you are. And we can call it the God goodness. But God is compassionately and comprehensively, eternally connected to all that is. And so that is this good for God encompasses a whole universe of souls and beings. Is this good for me? Yes, it's going to be good for you, Maria, because you love to teach like this. You love to teach people, but there's going to be people and you're still going to be teaching. And remember, you said you were going to come down here to earth and you're going to do some teaching. And you promised me. I was like, yes, God, I'm here. I'm teaching, so it's good for me. Is this good for others? Well, there'll be others that listen. There'll be some that don't want to, though that's okay. You just keep sharing. That's good for others. Is this good for God? You bet. We made this contract before you ever entered into this universe. You know it. You have felt it. You have listened to the guidance within. You have been intentional. You have been discerning, and you have set a positive mindset. So this is, in fact, good for God. And so that's a little bit about how we can discern our intuition, and we can also discern the guidance that we receive. And what I'm talking about, people, this morning is this idea of intuition, but it's also our godliness. It is the essence of the love that is available to us, the gifts that we have been given, the gifts that we have been that we have been blessed with. And so we want to be grateful and thankful. Yes, Maria, sometimes my intuition is a little bit scary. It says that I should, and it's like, let's take the should out and go, my intuition is expressing to me that I'm supposed to take a trip. And I've never taken a trip, and I'm afraid. But everything about it says yes. I've done the Human Pendulum, and I have a yes, and I have been getting messages, and people keep coming up to me, or little impressions come up to me, or these ideas come to me, or I see brochures, and I'm supposed to take this trip, but I am afraid. And there's that word, afraid. That is I. That's all about you being afraid. Is fear good for us? Yes, fear is good for us. Fear says, let's be cautious. Let's look into this further. It doesn't say stop, unless of course there's a fire in front of you and you're going to be running to the fire and you're not a firefighter, then you better think twice about that. But that's natural. You're going to be repelled back. In most cases, like this one, I am being guided to take a trip, but I am afraid. This is not truly a fear that is a death sentence. It is not a fear it is a paralyzing fear that's going on in your mind. So it says, be cautious and look into it further. Let me look at various, ideas. What can I do that would eliminate the fear? And that is natural and simple and actually quite intelligent. Maybe in this, travel, you want to take baby steps. Maybe it will be a leap of faith. Perhaps, you want to know that you're going to be safe. Well, put that out there. Angels, am I going to be safe from point A to point B and back to point A again when I travel? And ask. And you'll get an answer. You will be clear. And then if you're clear and the energy of all of this is like coming into place, and things are falling in, and you're getting guidance and synchronicities, those magical little pieces that say, yes, do this, do this, do this. This is the way. Then those are God-directed, supported, angelic lifting of the yes, the encouragement of the take hold, the this way, my beautiful friend. Go this way. Am I supposed to write a book? I asked years back, and it was like, yes, write the book, but I've never done this before. I don't even know if I can compose a healthy, paragraph. And I was like, okay, little baby steps. How about, why don't you start a blog? It's like, what the heck is a blog? And it's like, okay, I'll look into the blog, right? Because there was a little bit of fear, but it was caution saying, well, we can do this a more intelligent way. Let's try little pieces at a time. So, a lot of my chapters in my book were blog posts first, and then, that suddenly it becomes a book because we took baby steps. So if you're wanting to take a trip, well, go across the state line first, and then go across 3 straight lines, and go across the country, and then fly over a little inlet, like over to Mexico, because that's a different country, and it's still on the continent. It's kind of fun. It's like, just take little baby steps. But do not let the fear paralyze you. Your intuition, do not let your intuition that is telling you and guiding you be a fearful thing either. But my intuition, says that Is it good for you? Is it good for others concerned? Is it good with God? And if you get yeses, then proceed. Because if you get a fear, that's just a caution that says, let's look into this. Let's be a little more intelligent about the decisions that we make. Let's take smaller steps as we proceed forward. There is no timeline in God's experience of your presence here. There's no like that you have to be married by a certain age, you have to have kids by a certain age, you have to have this $1 million by a certain age, you have to have this. There's no timeline like that. Those are human made. And you are responsible for your own timeline. The only experiences that I can express to you is that when you listen to those nudges and you act upon them lovingly, and you're more responsive to those nudges, that your life will be more joyful more immediately, and that the abundance then like multiplies. And it's just like suddenly you're like, wow, a whole new world is opening up. And I can't believe I didn't listen to myself before. Myself, oh no, I'm suddenly feeling a little arrogant about that. No, that is the inner knowing, the inner guidance system, your God-given, blessed, and gift that has been implemented in you, that soul light that says, I am here. I am offering you guidance and support in all steps, in all that there is. You are never alone. I am here. And intuition is a God-given gift. So we want to allow the intuition to flow, and we want to listen to it more often, and we want to be discerning. Sometimes the emotion can get the best of you, and you can go on an emotional experience instead of an intuitive one. And that's okay too, as long as the emotion is good for you, good for God, and good for others. If the emotion is an angry emotion, it's really not going to be good for you. You got to get the anger out. That's why we have emotion. But you don't want to live there. You want to move up to joy. You want to move up to a space of powerful intention and more, again, a graceful living. If the intuition that you feel is guiding you to some kind of well, let's take a more difficult one, like divorce. And I say that, and the minute I say that, I'm like, that's not intuitive. Divorce is something that happens over a really long time for most people. And it is the situation that like is jabbing at somebody for years before they ever act on it. So we don't really, that's not the best, that's not the best expression, but it is important for us to realize that you have already been nudged in many ways if you're feeling some kind of separation from a person that you contracted to be with for a time or for a while, for a season, or for eternity, or for maybe just a year or 20 years. But intuitively, you have been, guided. And is something like divorce good for you? It is if you are, and this is like using psychology. If you're being beaten, if you're being abused regularly, if you are completely, unhappy, and the main reason is because of a prison that you're living in, then divorce is a no-brainer. But if you have, everything you need and suddenly your feelings have changed, well, it's like heal yourself first. Come to a place of love first within yourself. Don't run away from everything and everybody, but be part of healing yourself. Sometimes, though, Maria, healing myself means that I need to get away from a particular situation, a job, a person, a decision, a condition. I need to change, and it is, and I just said it. I need to change, and I is the first word in that sentence. So responsibility goes back to the I. I take responsibility for myself and the change that I need to make so that I am balanced again. And you can find balance through intuitive measures when you are intentional, when you are in this idea of inner dialogue that is positive, and when you are really being insightful and discerning. And so come back to you are completely responsible for who you are. Another avenue of intuition that we need to touch on here is the clairs, as I said in the first few seconds. Clairvoyance is this idea of clear seeing. And, people have a little bit of a concept about, clairvoyance. It's like, that we see angels like we see you all. Clairvoyance is vision, being visionary. Clairvoyance is having a dream. Clairvoyance is seeing a dream and being in dreamland. Clairvoyance is seeing an idea in your mind's eye and going, yeah. Clear seeing. And sometimes we wake up and we suddenly see clearly. Clairvoyance is a word that says clear seeing. And it's not, just some new age, concept. It is a this impression of seeing clearly with loving eyes. And it can come through inspiration, like a dream. You can have an idea in your mind, and you see it out in the world, and you begin to pull pieces together to bring it together. You can have a vision. You can see. Some people do see impressions of angelic beings and of soulful beings around others, and they may see both concepts of like what we would call the fourth and fifth dimension in the third dimension. And that is because many of us are raising our vibration now, and we're getting lighter ourselves, and our ability to see is becoming more intensely clear. We can see with our third dimensional eyes, but we are beginning to see also with our fourth and fifth dimensional eyes, which is this idea of, sometimes also seeing the etheric fields, the aura of someone, the energy around a plant or a flower or a person, the vibrance in a day. We are, becoming more attuned to this because we're lightening up. and we're evolving, and our energy is shifting. And so we're able to process some of these things. Some of us are newfound. I have had clairvoyance for a long, long time because I played with little angel lights when I was young. I could see the little angel lights around me, and I could feel their energy. But now it's a little more profound after years and years of connecting to that. But I don't see angels like I see you. It is more in a lighter field, in a lighter experience, and that's clairvoyance, clear seeing. But we also see a lot with our eyes closed. When we dream, you are using your inner sight. You're not using your physical eyes. You use your inner sight, which is clairvoyance. Clairsentience is clear inner feeling. Clear feeling in your gut, we call it here in the West. I have a gut feeling. Well, you have been practicing the gut feeling probably for a very long time because we talk about it here. What's your gut feeling on that? We say it very nonchalantly, but the gut feeling really does give you a premise of like, well, I felt really sick to my stomach. I had never watched The Bachelor until my son was on, The Bachelorette. And but I was watching the show this past Monday because now my son's doing like a little podcast where he talks about the episodes after they're done. So I want to know what's going on. But so many of the contestants on the Bachelor, because they're bachelorettes, were saying, what's your gut feeling? And all of a sudden you would hear, oh, I feel sick to my stomach about this situation. And again, it's like even national television expresses clairsentience. What do you feel? We have sometimes a fear feeling, sometimes a gut feeling, sometimes a euphoric feeling, sometimes butterflies in our tummy, sometimes this feeling of, oh my gosh, I am on cloud 9 feeling. Those are all, clairsentience, clear feeling in your body. And the more sensitive you are, the more aware you are, the more you can experience that. It can be a double-edged sword because you can begin to experience your neighbor's sorrow. But don't think of it as a sword. Think of it as an opportunity to pray for your neighbor, or pray for that person that you suddenly feel compassion towards, because that's why you receive it too, so you can pray, and prayer amplifies the goodness that can go out to others. So clairsentient can be a very positive thing. It is a very positive thing. And I encourage clairsentience on a regular basis, clear feeling, gut feeling, and pay attention to it. And then, is this a gut feeling because I'm fearful? Is this good for me? Is this good for others? Is this experience that I'm thinking about good for God? And if, you get a yes, we say, yay, let's go in that direction. And then there's clairaudience, clear hearing. Clear hearing. And it's not about hearing music, although I do have to say that when I asked God to amplify my clairaudience, my gift of hearing, I did hear music one morning in my home in Denver, Colorado at that time. I had been meditating, which is a beautiful place to experience your clairs more clearly. I had been meditating, and in the meditation, I heard like this music, and it was so beautiful, so much more I guess we would say intense than typical music that you hear with your ears, and it just had like a way of transforming me into this peaceful space. So that was the beginning, and then not too long after that, I heard like my own name being spoken by I would say a God voice, an angelic voice, not like the burning bush spoke, but this idea. It was. I knew that it was, this word, and then upon more careful growing and learning, and I talk about this in my book, I asked the angels, and I asked God to, what is the guardian angel name that I've been working with? What do I call this guardian angel? And within 24 hours, when I was reading a little Bernstein Bear book to my daughter, who was very young at the time, probably just 12, to 18 months old, I believe. And I heard the name of my guardian angel being, said again, like I was reading, sorry, my voice, my energy was in this reading something else, but the word came in my mind, the name came in my mind, and I heard it clearly, Mauricio. And I was like, oh, did I just, and then immediately I remembered, I had asked for this. I'd asked to hear my guardian angel's name, and there it was. And so this has been over, well, she's 25 now, so it's been over 24 years. And I have been working with my guardian angel and so many more ever since. But the name was just there. And again, was it good for me? Yes. I felt very positive and loving. Is it good for others? It has really helped me to know my guardian angel's name, just because I knew then that I could hear. And clairaudience is one of my highest gifts, clear hearing. I don't always hear messages. Sometimes they may not be as clear as I'd like them to be, but I do hear. And it's the inside, the mind's hearing. It's not a disembodied voice outside of my head. Although those have been available for people too. Sometimes, people have said, and I remember watching a show where they were talking about a plane crash. A plane had gone down, and one of the people that had been on the plane said, I heard a voice tell me to strap my seatbelt on tighter. And so I did that. And it was like, there was nobody beside me. I was in first class, but I put my seatbelt on tighter. And so, that's a very, powerful experience. Our guardian angels have been assigned to us at birth, and their only rule is that they cannot come into your life and interfere with your life. They have to allow you your free will. And so you have to invite them in it. And I invite mine in on a regular basis. And the only exception is if it's a life or death situation, your guardian angel can, in fact, save your life if it's not your time. And so we've all heard of those, situations where people have been in car crashes and the car's completely demolished, but they walk out of there. And that was a guardian angel, we would say, pillow of protection that has supported that soul so that they wouldn't be. Or maybe they did come out, mangled, but the I hate to say that word, but the mangling had something to do with the life transformation or a near-death experience that they were supposed to have. And those near-death experiences are, again, a time of waking up. Okay, I've got just a couple more minutes to wrap this up. Clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairsentience, clear feeling, clairaudient, clear hearing, and now one of my favorite, claircognizance. Cognizance, the idea of cognition, of thinking. Claircognizance is clear knowing. You just know. You just know what you know, and you just know, and you don't have to explain it. Actually, you don't have to explain any of these clairs, and you don't really have to be in a place where you're dividing them out. It's just for your education. But claircognizance is clear knowing. Sometimes you just know, and you don't know how you know, and you just know. This is the way that Einstein worked. One of my very favorite intuitives of all time. Einstein was an amazing intuitive. He continuously said, I go to take a nap with a problem and I wake up with the answer. So he would have, the answer. And he speaks regularly about, there's a quote out there about, how intuition is this natural ability, and we spend all of our time, growing our mind, and we forget about, expressing or expanding our intuition. And he used his intuition and his inspiration and formula after formula and theory after theory and experience after experience was divinely, relayed through him. And then he was even talking about string, oh gosh, I can't think of it now. It's the string concepts and fourth and fifth dimension experience, and he spoke through it in a scientific way, and he had proven himself, to be more than a mystic, and in fact a true scientist, but I know him as a great intuitive. And he's a mentor in many ways for me, and the work that he did and how he did that. And one of the ways he did is to take naps, which is meditation at its best. When we're supposed to not completely fall asleep in meditation, but when you are in this quasi state, you can get all kinds of great information, and it feels like a nap. It feels like a really good place. But clear knowing, sometimes you just know what you know. A good example of clear knowing is, for me is, like I blurt things out sometimes to people, and most recently a beautiful young couple was talking about having their second baby, and and I said, I don't want to know what your baby is, because I want you to have a boy. And and the mom kind of looks at me, she goes, so do you think it's a boy, Maria? I go, no, I don't want to know. but I feel like I knew. So and then last weekend they had the revealing party, and it's a boy. It's like happy for them because they have a beautiful little girl, and it's like and I just I want them to have a boy, but I blurted that, and I thought sometimes you just know what you know. And we will let that be the case. And so your blurts, sometimes you want to go, oh no, but they can be very truthful. Again, a blurting can be very truthful, but we want to be discerning about that too, and diplomatic. We don't want to blurt things like that are scary. And another, claircognizant way that's very powerful is sometimes, people will ask questions about their health. And if the angels have, brought a clear piece of information to me about a person's health, it's always framed in a positive way. And so it's like you want to look into this situation further. You really want to get maybe some tests and go to the doctor about this situation, this condition. Like, don't mess around with this. And that is, again, it's like, can it, if well, what you know. A beautiful client just recently said, my brother, I hadn't seen him for a year, and he came to Christmas and he was green. He was fluorescent green, she said. She goes, he was sick. And I pulled him aside. I go, what is going on? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, it's like, honey, you're sick. You're jaundiced. There's something going on with you. No, I'm absolutely fine. And she's like, no, we have to take you to the doctor. I'm making you go to the doctor. We're going to the doctor. And, the unfortunate thing is that he did pass away. She was calling me after, the fact, because it was just this, it was just last week, but he had been sick and he didn't even see it. You know what you know. I mean, she could see the illness. The other brothers and sisters didn't see it the way she did. They thought maybe he was tired, but to her, he looked green. That's an intuitive awareness. And sometimes we see those things in others and they don't see it in themselves. So caution, she encouraged him to go to the doctor. We're going to the doctor. And unfortunately, he was very far gone, and the cancer had already eaten him up. But she said, I knew it. And if I had seen him earlier, maybe I could have saved his life. And there's so many pieces in there. And I felt for her, and we prayed. But in the end, the message from the angels and from that beloved brother that had made a transition was that it was his time, and he knew it, and he received that. Anyways, with that, we're coming to the end of our hour. It went really long today. Intuition was the mass this morning. The angels, we didn't quite get to all of my favorite angels, but we're going to call them in. Archangel Michael, the angel of courage, strength, and protection and determination. Be with all of my beautiful people that are viewing this morning, and help them to be courageous in the way that they master their own intuition, the way that they listen to the angels and the Lord working through them, for them, and with them to bring them light. Archangel Raphael, we want you to surround all those that need healing at this time and support them and uplift them, work through all those different crevices of emotional healing that some of us need and we have buried, and bust them open and help us to be clear and healed so that we, again, can be healthy and vibrant. And Archangel Gabriel, the angel of communication, we call you in so that we can be stewards of the Lord, that we can be expressing our full, beautiful, loving selves in the spiritual essence that we're blessed with, all of our intuition, and may we walk forward into the world confidently, speaking, healing, teaching, and loving. In your name we are grateful, and for this time together we say amen.
Amen.
Thank you for listening, all of you. God bless you. I'm going to stop the recording, but because I will leave this on, though, I'm going to stop the recording so that some of you can ask questions, but that doesn't go on YouTube, the questions, okay?